Alright, thank you very much for clicking on the video. This is Gulpain, just back with a quick PSP review. And this one is a game I got a while ago. It's not a very expensive game at all. It's Lord of the Rings Tactics. And this was developed by Amaze Entertainment and published by Electronic Arts and released in 2005. So this one is obviously from the movie. So very, very heavily influenced by the movie. Maybe by the books a little bit as well, but I think mainly by the movie. And it's just sort of a tactics version of some key scenes from the movie, which is a really good idea actually, because a lot of the movie tie-in games, they just sort of go for like generic platformer or generic like 3D hack and slash game, or I don't know, kind of generic whatever works. But this one has gone for a tactics approach. Now I don't think that's because of necessity. I think that's just because they wanted to make as much money from the Lord of the Rings franchise as possible. And I think the Lord of the Rings in general kind of lends itself very well to a tactics game, particularly if you think of some of the key scenes in the movies, Battle of Helm's Deep, etc. Even this, the first scene where Frodo and Aragorn are taking on the ring, is it the ring wraiths? I think that's what they're called. The ghost guys at the ruined area that they have a campfire in. So I think the tactics genre is a good genre for Lord of the Rings. Now the best Lord of the Rings games that I played was the Two Towers on PS2, which was a sort of like 3D kind of not open world. It was like 3D kind of level based hack and slash game, but that was excellent. I don't know, maybe it was just because I was caught up in the Lord of the Rings fervor, or I just loved Lord of the Rings at the time when it came out. I remember getting the DVD like way later than the movies came out in the cinemas, because when the first time I saw Lord of the Rings in the cinema I didn't like it at all, and then the second time I saw it, it was amazing. So this footage I have here is not running 100% good either, but oh well, what can you do. The first time I saw it I didn't like it, and then the Two Towers was just one of the best films I've ever seen. And I remember getting the DVD, the box set DVD with the extra footage, the half an hour extra footage from like Boromir, and that was like awesome. But it wasn't like, it wasn't life changing, the footage or anything. It was just like a little bit extra, kind of few cut scenes from the original movie, because the movies are quite long. Yeah, but this again, this battle here is against the Balrog, where kind of Gandalf says, "Fly, you fools," and the famous lines from the movie. But I think the tactics genre in general is quite a well done genre of the games I've played. Obviously, there's a few stinkers. R-Type Tactics comes to mind, which is another PSP game I recently got, which I couldn't believe how bad it was. But yeah, this one is at least there's a bit of effort put into this one, and it does sort of reflect the main scenes in the movie, which is kind of, if you're looking for a Lord of the Rings game, you don't want like, well, maybe you do, like, you don't want like a completely original game with none of the characters from the movie or from the book. You want to play as Legolas, you want to play as Aragorn and Frodo and stuff. And why not just take the key scenes from the movie and make them sort of tactics levels, which I think is great. But there's not the depth of this tactics game, as in that's sort of seen in other tactics games. Like some of the tactics games that don't have much depth but are still excellent is sort of like Project Cross Zone is one, which it has, you can level up the characters, but they sort of level up, you're not really in control of their leveling up as much as other tactics games, where you can kind of focus on a few characters, or you can pick certain characters to go into battle with you. Something like Vandal Hearts or Final Fantasy Tactics, those are, in my opinion anyway, those are far more like kind of involved or deep strategy games. I suppose this one would be more in the kind of the casual strategy game genre. It can't be, I imagine they can't make it too complicated, because people that aren't really into tactics games probably wouldn't acclimate to it, so they kind of have to keep it simple. And then people that are sort of very into tactics games again would probably reject a very simplistic approach. So this sort of approach, I think, is kind of a midway between, like kind of keeping hardcore fans happy and keeping kind of casual fans happy as well. It's pretty good anyway. It's not the worst game I've ever played, but it's quite difficult actually. I have to say, because a lot of tactics games I've played, like Suikoden tactics. They're very easy to kind of get into. They kind of ease you into the battle system. But this one just starts off no tutorial, which is good. Like, but starts off with a kind of easy stage, and then this second, third stage are a bit difficult. Well, I found it difficult now. So if you've played Lord of the Rings Tactics on the PSP, let me know in the comment section below. And thanks for watching. I'll see you next video. Adios.